Hey guys, today I'm filming my 2017 yearly favorites. I am so excited for this video. I love watching them, and honestly this year my monthly favorites have been really small and not as fun, but right here is like the absolute best of the best. It makes me so happy to be looking at all of these items, and what makes this video even better is that this is a collab with my YouTube besties Ami from ambeautylife and Amanda Alexander. I will have their channels and their videos linked down below. The three of us are in this constant group chat talking about makeup, polish, color pop, and talking about YouTube and all of these other things, and I've really appreciated how much closer that we've grown over this past year. And also over the summer, the three of us did collabs on our top 10 ColourPop Super Shock Shadows and our top 10 ColourPop Lippies, because all of us are ColourPop addicts. So I will have those videos linked down below as well in case you're interested. Please, please, please go check out their channels, watch their videos. Please subscribe to them. I would greatly appreciate it, and I think you guys would absolutely love their channels so much. So we are going to go ahead and jump into this video. So these are all of my yearly favorites, the best of the best. These are the products that I either discovered or fell in love with this year specifically. So you're not going to see a lot of products that I've loved over many years. If there are items that you know I'm obsessed with and I'm not showing here, it's probably because I did not discover them this year. So if you guys would like to see a Holy Grail products video, I'll put a poll question up here. Let me know if you guys like to see that. I did one of those, I think, in January 2015, so my products have definitely changed since then. So let me know if you're interested in that to see my all-time favorite products. But these are my favorite items that I tested out in 2017. So for that reason, I will not have a product for each category. I wanted to just show you my true favorites. So starting with my face product favorites, for concealer, I have the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Fair, and there are many reasons why I love this concealer. This does give amazing full coverage, and it has more of like a satin finish, and I love the coverage, but the main reason I love this is because of the shade. The color Fair is very light. It's actually light enough for me to highlight. I can't just use this under my eyes or it's actually too bright, which is amazing. I love that because every other concealer I've ever used under my eyes either matches me perfectly or it's too dark. So I don't necessarily need this amount of coverage. I like it, but I don't necessarily need it. But the shade of this and how much product that you get in this concealer makes this an absolute favorite for me. So this is my second tube. It took me 9 months to use up one of these completely, and I took out the stopper and everything to get out every little last bit of product. So it makes it worth the money when you think about it that way. And then I discovered an incredible under eye setting powder this year. It is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. This is just a little sample size that I have here. This is incredible, and I have very oily under eyes, so I don't mind using powders that are a little bit more drying, but this does a fantastic job of setting my under eyes, locking my concealer in place, and also helps keep me matte in this area of my face. So I did not want to love this, but I absolutely do. Another powder that is an honorable mention that I discovered this year is the e.l.f. HD Under Eye Setting Powder. That one is great. It's a great drugstore option, but honestly it is not near as good as this, but it is so affordable that I'll probably end up getting that a couple times and then getting these samples whenever they're available. But this is absolutely an incredible powder, and it totally is worth the hype. And my next face favorite is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in the shade number 5 Fair, which is very fair and more of a neutrally undertone. This sets my makeup incredibly well. It helps keep me matte. It does give a little bit of color, not so much coverage, but I love this powder in particular. But this year, I really fell in love with loose setting powder. So I used up my RCMA No Color Powder, which is something that I don't like at all. But I discovered that I really enjoy setting my face with loose powder. First off, I go through pressed powder so quickly because I need to make sure every little centimeter of my face is completely set because I have oily skin. I think my cheek products blend nicer over top of powder. So this particular powder I think is amazing, and this year in general I've really fallen in love with setting my face with a loose powder. My next favorite was a new kind of product I discovered this year, and that would be a liquid bronzer. This is something I was terrified of at first. I had a little deluxe sample I put in a project pan, and I absolutely fell in love, so I did purchase a full size, and I actually found this at TJ Maxx for a very affordable price, so make sure you guys check there. But this is the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Sheer Sun Serum Bronzer, and cream bronzers are so scary and hard for me to use because I am fair, and they're just tougher to use. But this liquid, when I apply this with a beauty blender, do the E3 around the perimeters of my face, it warms up my skin so beautifully. It blends into my foundation so effortlessly. It isn't too orange, but this definitely is warm on the skin. This is going to be my go-to summer bronzer. My next favorite was a limited edition product. This is the MAC Blush and Sweet Sweet Fantasy from the Mariah Carey collection. It is a satin finish. This collection actually was released last holiday, but I got it for Christmas, and because it is this beautiful coral color, I didn't end up wearing it until the summertime, and I fell in love. You guys know I love coral blushes, and this is right up my alley. It isn't the most unique color out there, so you can definitely find dupes, but I love the formula of MAC blushes. They're very pigmented, they look beautiful on the skin, and I absolutely love this color. Next, for eye products, I have one thing for the brows that I fell in love with this year. It is a Benefit Goof Proof Eyebrow Pencil. I wear the shade number 2. I only have a tiny amount of this left, but this eyebrow pencil almost lasted me the entire year. So I'll use the NYX Micro Brow to shape my brows and kind of just draw the shape, draw it in the front, but I will fill in the center of my brows with this pencil. So this is a really fantastic angled brow pencil that is a little bit thicker. The consistency is great because it isn't too waxy or too creamy, but it just effortlessly fills in my brows. I absolutely love this, and I definitely will repurchase it. I never thought I would be able to justify the price of a high-end brow pencil, but this lasted me such a long time, and next time Ulta has a 20% off coupon, I will be snatching this up because I think that this is an incredible brow pencil. So then for eyeshadows, I've got some specific looks, some different single shadows, and some palette favorites as well. The first one is a total surprise favorite for me, and this is actually a pigment. This is MAC True Chartreuse, which is a matte chartreuse green. This has been discontinued, unfortunately. I've had this little sample forever. Pulled it out this spring and absolutely fell in love. The formula of this is actually very easy to work with. It clings to a brush and goes onto the eye flawlessly, which is incredible for a loose pigment. And this color is way out of my comfort zone, but I absolutely loved it. And I do have a tutorial, so that will be linked down below. And this year, I also had a couple different transition and crease color combinations that I absolutely fell in love with. And these first two here are from Anastasia, and I fell in love with them when I put them in a project pan over the summer. And the favorite transition color would be Anastasia Birkin. This is a beautiful light peachy tan color. Isn't too warm, but it isn't neutral either. It's right in between, and this is such a fantastic transition color for my skin tone. As you can see, I have hit pan. And then the crease color I was loving along with that would be Anastasia Bengal. I've hit pan on this one as well. Right here I have it in the Tamana palette, but this is a shade that is sold individually, and this is definitely a little bit more of a warmer brown, but it isn't too orange. Both of these colors are like the perfect warm undertone without being too orange, which is actually hard to find these days. Incredible. And I love the Anastasia matte eyeshadow formula. Very pigmented, does have a bit of kick up, but it blends effortlessly onto the eye. So both of those, formula and color, are incredible. And then I have two more transition and crease colors that I absolutely loved this fall, and that would be Makeup Geek Bake Sale and Makeup Geek Frappe. As you can see, Bake Sale is just a little bit lighter. Again, these are amazing warm tone transition and crease without pulling too orange. And Frappe would be a really nice transition on people that have more of a tan skin tone, but on me it's just way too pigmented and a little too deep. But Bake Sale works perfectly as a transition for me, and I love Frappe so much. This is actually very versatile. I've used it with a lot of different things this year. I have a really big dip in it, so these have been two standout eyeshadows for me. And then I had some specific eye looks that I was really loving this year. And the first one is using the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in 8-track on my lid. This is a pearlized finish. It's a beautiful golden olive, and this isn't too deep, but with those tones, it has a bit of a smoky quality to it. And I personally love olive against my eye color, hair color, skin tone. I think olive is very flattering on me, if I say so myself. So this was a stunning color for the lid. And then for my transition color, I used Anastasia Isabel, which is in the Master Palette by Mario. And as you can see, this is much more of an orange color, but it isn't a bright orange. It is this beautiful burnt orange, so it has enough brown and tan in it. It's an amazing crease color and combines with this so nicely. I do have to use this very lightly because it is a very pigmented, intense color for my skin tone, but I absolutely love this combination this year. My next eye look is something that I had envisioned in my mind for such a long time, and I finally tested out the look, and it was everything that I had dreamed of, and it's only using 2 shadows. So the first shadow is the Clinique Raspberry Beret, which is this beautiful matte raspberry color. I use this for transition crease and my lid actually, but I just use different amounts of product and I use different brushes to create a beautiful gentle fade, and I use this on my lid as a base because the shadow I put over top is not opaque, and that would be the Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadow in the shade Solstice, which is this beautiful blue that flashes to a maroon burgundy color. So it really popped over top of this Raspberry Beret shade. I absolutely love that look. It was really, really fun, and I know I'll definitely do it a lot more with this. You definitely need a glitter glue, but I was really happy that the look turned out just as well as I envisioned it. My next favorite look is using all ColourPop pressed powder shadows, and I fell in love with it over this past summer. So on my lid, I was wearing the single in the shade Board Shorts, which is this beautiful golden bronze with a bit of an orangey coppery tone to it. I do not usually like bronzes on my skin tone. I find them to look like a dull brown, but because of the golden orangey undertones in this shade, it looked amazing on the lid. So absolutely love this. And what I paired it with would be 3 shadows from the ColourPop Yes Please palette. This palette as a whole is an absolute favorite. It's such amazing quality for only $16. So the other eyeshadows that I used with that look would be this light peachy sherbet shade Champs as a transition color, which works really well for fair skin. Then for my crease, I use the shade Note to Self, which is a beautiful caramel brown. This is a shade sold individually if this is the only shade that you're wanting. And then for my transition, I use Girls Night Out, which is that burnt orange with some tan brown mixed into it, so it isn't bright like something like this. You can definitely see the difference between those 2 shades, and all of those pair beautifully with that golden bronze on the lid, and I absolutely love that look during the summer. And then I have 2 palettes that I absolutely loved this year as well. The first one would be the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. You have a lot of gorgeous lid shades here, but I also have some standout matte shades. Georgia for a transition color, Puree in the crease, and Summer Yum as a transition shade. And then I love these bronzy colors, surprisingly. On the lid, this shade here, these peachy tones actually work really pretty as a blush as well. Loved the olive. This was such a beautiful palette, and I created so many different versatile looks with this. I'll have my palette of the month linked down below so you guys can see all the looks I was able to create. But I was really impressed with the quality of this palette. I don't own very much from Too Faced, but this was really nice. And then the other palette I fell in love with this year would be the Juvia's Place Masquerade palette. I did do an entire palette of the month, which again I will link down below, and I believe I have tutorials using both these palettes, which will be linked as well for you guys. And I have some in-depth thoughts about the formula of this palette and some troubles I had in application, but the colors are amazing. You have 2 rows of neutrals, 2 rows of colorfuls, you have some shimmers and some mattes in this palette. I was able to come up with so many amazing looks. I went so far out of my comfort zone with these colorful shadows and created looks that I thought were to die for. So I was really happy with this palette because it really challenged me. So those are all the eyeshadow favorites this year. For lips, I literally only have 3 products, which really is opening my eyes. Recently, I've been looking at my lip product collection and thinking about what things are actually must-haves and what is just extra. And I have a lot of extra, so I really need to keep that in mind when buying lip products, is because I have things that are just okay, but not that many things that I'm absolutely in love with. But these 3 products I loved this year. They are all from ColourPop. This is the Kathleen Lights Aquarius Trio. And I do have an entire review with swatches. I'll have that linked down below. So right here we have the Ultra Glossy Lip in Aquarius, which is more mauve pink. Then you have the Ultra Satin Lip in Aquarius, which is more peachy, and you have the Ultra Matte Lip in Aquarius, which is more brown. So these shades I feel do look definitely different on my skin tone, and I'm really impressed with the formula of all of these and the shades. These right here are my perfect nudes. This was also my first time trying the Ultra Glossy Lip formula, and this is a cream finish. I love it. It has a great medium opacity, super creamy on the lips, and it isn't sticky at all. And then we have my nail polish favorites of the year, and I will try to remember to include Manicure Monday pictures with all of these so you can see how they look on my nails. And my first three polishes are from the brand Formula X. Unfortunately, this brand has been discontinued, but it does pop up on the Sephora website here and there, and you might be able to find these on super sale. I got all of mine for $5, and the first shade I have here is Impeccable, which is this beautiful light warm mauve nude color, beautiful in the winter time. And then I have these brighter shades that have been on my wish literally for years, and this first one is Legendary, and this shade is High Frequency. So compared to each other, they are quite similar. High Frequency is darker, brighter, a little bit more blue, and this has a little bit more green. You probably don't need them both, but if you're like me and this is your favorite kind of nail polish color, you need them both. But these were opaque in 2 coats, a really easy to work with formula. They lasted a long time on my nails. I was really impressed with the formula of these. Happy that I got them for such a good price, but I'm really, really sad that this brand isn't around anymore. My next polishes would be a new brand to me in the year of 2017, and that would be KL Polish. I gotten these 3 polishes for Christmas that year, and I wore them, of course, in 2017. So the 3 shades I have here would be Zoey. This is a beautiful mauve shade as well, but this one is a little bit more cool and purple tone, which is really pretty. These shades I fell in love with this fall, and these are very far out of my comfort zone. And Caramello, which is a mustard, and Brick Sidewalk, which is a bricky red. In the bottle it looks more orange, but on my nails it pulls a little bit more red. I love the formula of KL polishes. These were all almost opaque in 1 coat. If I had a little bit more polish on the brush, I could have gotten 1 coat, but this is more of a thick formula, which I enjoy because it isn't super runny. It also does have one of those wide paddle brushes that looks like this. So some people might not like it. I do. I have, I'd say, average size nail bed, so this brush works really well for me. I really hate really tiny brushes like Essie because I get so many more streaks when I'm applying my polish. So I was really, really impressed with these shades. And then we have another indie brand, 90 Lacquer, which is created by Just Face 90. This is in the shade Frost, which is from the winter collection, but I believe I wore it in the fall. This is a stunning holographic blue with some white silver pieces in here. It looks amazing on the nails, and I have quite a few different holographic blue polishes from Jess, but this one probably is my favorite. It looked incredible on the nails. I love Jess's polishes. They're amazing in formula. They're super unique and beautiful. Highly, highly recommend. And then I had a top coat that I fell in love with this year. This is the Julie G Jet Set Quick Dry Top Coat. I was sent this by Jesse's Girl earlier in the year, and it's amazing. So now that I'm getting down to the bottom of the bottle, it is starting to get a little bit thick, so I am having to put in a little bit of polish thinner, which I just get the one from Sally's, and it works great. But this is an awesome top coat. It makes my nails look very glossy. It keeps them from chipping. It keeps them from shrinking. I think that the formula of this is just as good as the Glisten and Glow HK Girl top coat, and this is something that you can buy at Rite Aid stores. So, and I think it's like $4 or $5, so highly recommend it, and I would definitely be repurchasing it. I was really impressed with how well it worked. And then I have some very random favorites. I have a couple skincare things, a perfume, and some makeup brushes that were all new discoveries this year. The first skincare item is the Tarte Friction Stick, which is literally an exfoliator in a stick. I just had this little sample that I used up. You guys, This is amazing. It had the perfect amount of exfoliating grit. I like really intense grit, but this was not too harsh. This was so easy to use. I would just rub it on my skin, then take my fingers, really massage it in. My skin did feel exfoliated. It felt super clean, really fresh. This is absolutely amazing, and I definitely want to buy one of these in the full size because it is better than anything I've ever used. I've never found anything that works as well as this. I believe Physicians Formula just released a dupe, but from what I heard, it didn't exfoliate as well, so that's a bummer. But I might still be tempted to try it if I can get it on sale, but this was amazing. The other skincare product I fell in love with is the Belief True Cream Aqua Bomb, which is their moisturizer for oily skin. This is an amazing daytime moisturizer for oily skin, and this gave the perfect amount of moisture, but it didn't make me too matte. And for some mattifying moisturizers, other primers do not mesh with them at all, and then I'll have product kind of pilling up on my skin. I didn't have that problem with this at all. I also recently tried out the Moisture Bomb for a nighttime moisturizer for more hydration. That was amazing as well, so I highly recommend the Belief moisturizers. I did not want to believe the hype because these are really pricey, but this is definitely the best moisturizer I've ever tried. And then I have a perfume favorite. This is the Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. It's been around for decades, but I had gotten a little sample of this, fell in love, and then my sister actually had the big value set, so she gave me the rollerball. This is such an amazing light fruity floral scent that is going to be one of my go-tos in the springtime. I was really impressed with this beautiful scent. So my last couple of favorites would be some new brushes I discovered this year. Let me know if you guys would like to see a must-have makeup brush video. I'll put a little poll up here because my brush favorites have definitely changed over the years, but I have 5 brushes that I discovered and fell in love with this year from Morphe. And no, I'm not a Morphe affiliate. I actually had gotten a couple of these in a giveaway, and then some I had gotten for Christmas last year based on different YouTuber recommendations. And I actually have a couple more Morphe brushes in my collection, but these are my 5 standouts of the year. So this first brush here is the Morphe Eve 48. It's from their Elite collection. This is a little pointed powder brush, and I use this to set my under eyes with powder. And this is also great if I have any fallout on my face to just dust it away. I also use this with powder if I need to touch up or I want to add some extra mattifying powder in my oily areas. This brush works so well and the bristles are so soft. I've never had any problem with these shutting when I wash them or when I use them, and I've used them like all year long. The other brush I have here is the Morphe M523, and some people use this to bronze, but for me it deposits way too much color because I'm so fair. But this is fantastic for contouring and really blending out the contour. I love the shape of this brush, super cool, and I've used it a ton. My other face brush favorite is the M501. I also have the M510, but I like this one better for highlighting, the one with the black bristles. It picks up the perfect amount of product, blends it onto the cheek so well to give you that really beautiful, intense highlight. And then I have 2 eye brushes from the Rose Gold collection. This is the R39, which is similar to a Sigma E25, like a tapered crease brush. And then you have the R38, which is more of a tapered blending brush, which is how I use this. Crease, transition, and they work so well to deposit the perfect amount of color, blend out quite nicely, and I'm really impressed with the quality of these brushes. So guys, that was my very long yearly favorites. I'm sorry I rambled so much, but I really wanted to explain why I loved these products, and I really would love it if you guys would please check out Ami and Amanda's videos, subscribe to their channels, and I would love to know what your all's favorites were this year, and I would love to know your thoughts if you've tried out any of these products. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.